race of the season. This is obviously the first season in F2, but we've rounded up all the Formula 1 tier, so this is our last race of the current season. So once again we're at Japan, Spin City, as I'm beginning to refer to it because it's so easy to spin out there. Hopefully we should have ready up soon. I think we've just got one or two drivers that are just having a little bit of an issue getting in, but hopefully then we should be ready to go. So the Drivers' Championship is looking like only 2 drivers to win. However, Kulpi's got it in his head that if those 2 crash, he can still win. So it's down to Dan or JJ Lato, who have just 7 points split in them. And for the constructors, there's only 30 points between HWA and High Tech as well, so that's still to play for. Just see what that comment was, because I haven't got my YouTube open yet. Really, Aiden? Morning? It's like 8:30 PM and you're saying morning. Of course you're saying morning. So as I say, we are just waiting on 1 or 2 more guys. I know they're having a little bit of issues getting in. Yeah, we've got El Jobo having just a little bit of trouble getting on. He's having a little bit of an issue, so we're just waiting a few minutes for him. So we've just got to wait for El Jobo. Like I say, I think it is just the 1 driver. So unfortunately there might be a little bit of quiet. There's not a lot I can talk about whilst we're waiting. Everyone else is just getting a little bit impatient. They all just want to get this race underway. And of course Aiden's in the comments just mocking me, as he always does. So if I just have a look at the standings, and so the HWA drivers is Dan and Aiden, who have a 30-point advantage over the 2 high-tech drivers, which are JJ, and he doesn't have a teammate tonight, so it is just JJ. So JJ's got to find 30 points on those other 2 drivers to have any chance of claiming the constructors title. And at the same time he's got to find 7-point advantage on Dan throughout tonight. If he does, he can steal it away. If not, it's Dan's title. But Dan does have to fight for this one because JJ won't give it up easy. We've seen that in previous races. So I've just seen a message saying we are going at 8:35, so in around about a minute. So we do have ready up then, so we are going to go. I think El Jobo might just join a little bit late if he can get himself sorted out. If not, then he won't be racing, unfortunately. Really, we're just waiting for Luckman. Everybody's readied up except Luckman. Why is it always Luckman? It's like he does it on purpose some days. So as always, this is going to be a one-shot qualifying, and then we'll have, I think it was an 11-lap sprint race and a 15-lap feature race. The sprint race will have a top 10 reverse grid, assuming 10 people can actually complete a lap of this place. So everyone's just getting themselves sorted out, getting the setup, so we've got a few seconds and we'll be underway. And I shall do my best to try and stick on with someone. So according to the game, it's decided I want to stick on with Aiden, so we're going to sit here and watch Aiden's lap. And there's no point having a full map because we can only see Aiden. And that's Osso in the comments here. Good evening, Osso. Surprised to see you're sending messages when you should be out doing your lap. And T-Bag, yeah, all DNF on quali. Well, it's quite possible. But so far, we've got Harry, Colby, Scotty at the top 3. It's not looking good for Dan or JJ, actually. JJ's there in P8. Dan's just snuck up into P4, but he was a few places further down. So he's obviously carried a little bit more speed through that double right-hander there as we go into the hairpin. And it looks like Dan snuck up ahead of El Jobo. He actually did get in then. I didn't realise El Jobo had got in with us. As Monkey to Nuts is actually out, so he'll be starting from the back. This is not great for JJ, who did just, as I said, that sneak up a couple of places. He's just snuck up into P6. But Dan in P4. He needs to find a little bit more speed if he wants to beat Dan tonight and try and have an advantage going into the race. So now down through the last chicane. I don't know how these guys can keep these things on track. I struggle so much with them. And that's Harry on pole then, with Kulpi El Jobo as P2 and P3. Dan's only managed P5 and JJ Lato is P7. So the two title contenders there, then a P5 and P7. And we have quite a few people who haven't finished. Mostly disqualifications, actually. I think there was 4 DSQs. I'll just check them back. And I did get another comment there. Paranoid. Evening, Paranoid. It's just me tonight, mate. It's no gents, it's just me. So Monkeys to Nuts didn't set a time then. We had Hamster Luckman, Matey Boy and Osso all DSQ'd. So that's both Primo drivers and both Carlin drivers all DSQ'd. So Harry, Kulpi, El Jobo, Binks, Dan, Scotty, JJ, Aiden, Carl and Saki will all be reversed, which means JJ will be starting P4 for sprint and Dan will be starting P6. Yeah, Paranoid, I was meant to have Kieran joining me, but he messaged me a little while before the race was due to start saying he's not feeling very well and he's had to take some painkillers, so he's a little drowsy, so he thought it best not to join me. So it is just me tonight. And of course Aiden's in there with the silly comments again. So just waiting for the timer then, and we shall get underway for the sprint race. So far it's looking dry. It would be nice to know for sure what the weather's going to be like, but my guess is it would be dry. We haven't seen much in the way of rain throughout the at the F1 races. We saw a little smatter of rain at the end of Q3 in the Tier 3 race, but there was nothing of it during the actual race, so hopefully it will be all dry. Yes, Nicky, straight away, also got himself a DSQ and will start P14. And I'm not surprised you haven't slept, Paranoid. Still excited from yesterday's race. And I can't blame you, as we've already had Matey Boy and Hamster DSQ'd from the formation lap. So they're not going to have much luck when it gets to getting going, because they're both going to have very cold tyres. But there's ground to be made up for everyone, and because of the reverse grid, JJ does have the advantage in this race. But Dan will be starting right behind him. And Coolpy, as much as he may hope those two crash out and he wins, he's got a lot of work to do if he does. Even if you take those two out of the equation, he's still got to make up 6 or 7 places. It's a pretty tall order around this place. It's not the easiest place to overtake. Gonna just stay on board with Saki, but I want to see why. Why does it look like he's dropped way back? Why has he dropped way back? That's because Saki's disconnected. That explains why his car's ghosted. I thought that might be what's just happened there. So Saki has disconnected from the race, so that'll be an easy place made up for everyone. So in that case, then I'm going to start on board with Aiden, starting from P3. He should get a nice easy run off the line actually, with Saki's ghosted car in front of him. He's got nothing in his way. That's 3, 4, 5 lights, and then we're out. That was quite quickly out there as Harry gets himself a drive-through. That was not a great start from Harry there then, but so far so good. Turn 1 can definitely change that as someone goes wide there. Didn't appear to lose any real ground, so that's Carl into the lead then, followed by Aiden, and Saki is there, but there we go, Scott's just overtook him because he is ghosted. Has just over a second lead, so it's already, by the time we get out the S's, 1.2 seconds ahead and outside of DRS range. Normally, you know, you get 3 laps, people tend to use 3 laps. Nope, he wants to use just the S's, that'll do him. I don't know what happened to Osso, but he does appear to have his car intact, so I'm not entirely sure, but Binks and Aiden also lost ground there, so I'm not, wow, there's a few cars going backwards at the hairpin there as well. To answer your question there, Paranoid, I was trying to see what was happening at the front and I missed what was happening at the back. That's the downside to just having one comm online. So Aiden does have damage then. Let's see if anyone else ahead of him has damage. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like Aiden is our first driver with damage. See what Luckman's car looks like as he comes across. No, he's got no damage. He's about to pass, I think. No, not quite. Oh, that was very sideways. Who was that? That was Hamster in the wall. Hamster has DNF. That is Hamster in the wall. So that's not good for Hamster. That is a VSC. And oh, Osso's lost his end plates. It didn't look like he had any damage to begin with, but he does. He has end plate loss, so he'll be in the pits. Harry's in the pits as well. That'll probably be for his drive-through. However, I'm not 100% sure if he can serve it because of the VSC. Dimpster's also in the pits as well. Now that lead for Carl is extended to just around about 2.2 seconds, although Scott does seem to be dropping off him a little bit more there. So we shouldn't yet see any positional changes whilst the VSC is out, of course, but Scott is dropping further and further back off of Carl here. As I say, that he starts to make up a bit of ground. So around about 2.5 seconds now, so... And we are back racing. That is a terrible time to start racing again. That does look like Coulpey's about to put a move on Scotty. These two really shouldn't fight each other too much because they are teammates, at least for tonight. Coulpey does need that win if he wants to have any chance of trying to steal this championship late on. Now you've got Dan right on the back of Scott as well. There's no DRS yet, but he's definitely travelling faster as he has to brake a little there just to get off the back of Scott. So he's got a pretty good run. The DRS is now enabled, but it won't be this lap. I wondered whether Dan was going to go much further before backing out there. Didn't want to risk it. Can't blame him. Coulpey's already closing down that gap that Cole Trim's got. As that's Binks making a move on Nerf Pack as well, and Monkeys to Nuts was off track. Yeah, as he's driving through Saki as well, I thought there was just some kind of contact there, but it wasn't. Oh, we do have someone off though. That is JJ Lato, one of the title contenders. He's off circuit and has no front wing at all, so he's going to lose huge amounts of ground now. With that having happened, this is now entirely in Dan's hands. All he's got to do really is just stay where he is and pick up some points. And then he's got a great advantage going into the feature race. If Dan scores points, Coulpey's effectively out of this title challenge. Not that he's really in it, but he can hope. But he's in a good position should Dan crash. Just quickly check on the. So also says weird start happened. I'm going to take your word for that. And also has actually DNF'd, so yeah, that's that would explain why he's into the comments now. He's enjoying himself. So let's just see where Coulpey's at, because he's closing that gap down on Carl now. As Dan does make a move on Scott. Ooh, a little bit of contact there between the two of them just as I went to flick down onto one of them. Scott trying to defend, to try and help his teammate. Let's see if anyone's got much. They haven't got back onto the same compound, as JJ Lato has actually retired from the session. That's sort of unfortunate. This means he's going to have a lot of work to do if he wants to have any chance of winning now from there. Close battles going on. His mate boy is close to the back of Binks there. Only just about a second between them. El Jobo is on the back of Scott, who's then on the back of Dan, so they'll both just about get DRS. So it also says full traction control immediately slid into a wall. Haven't had that when I was driving on medium traction. Yep. See, I just don't like F2 cars. I had a little play around here earlier on the F2s, and I don't know how you guys do it. I really, really don't, because I have no control over these cars. I'd have more chance of being able to successfully drive a drift car around this track than I would these things. So, El Jobo is getting closer to Scott. Then he's getting a little bit closer to Dan, and Culp is right on the back of Carl now. So we'll just sit on this for a bit. Really, also, you're saying you suck at the F1 cars. You've actually had a pretty good season in the F1s. You've just had a disaster in the F2s, but then I can understand why, having driven them myself. Hideous creatures, these things. That gap is just hovering around 3 to 4 tenths at the minute. Corpy is gonna go for that move eventually, I'm sure. So there's no ozone in here tonight, but Osso's decided that he wants to talk about him having his asteroids in the feature race. He's going to finish at least P17, which is where he's just finished the sprint race. So he wants to improve. That's good. If he finishes, that is. Good at some tracks. You're good at quite a few of the tracks. You beat me a few times throughout the season, as Culpy is going for that move by the looks of it. Ooh, we tried to go around the outside and it didn't happen, as Binks sets the fastest lap of 42.3. This is going to be an interesting little battle between these two. These two are just leaving Dan and Scott. Dan's going to know that he doesn't need to push, he just needs to score points. That may be all he's trying to do here, is just score a handful of points. So back on with this little battle at the front then. Yeah, as Nicky says, he's got his #1 fan in here also, and that's all he needs. As also says, Abu Dhabi was unexpected. Yeah, we're not going to talk about Abu Dhabi. Oh, he's just sitting there right on the back of Carl. Is he going to try and go for a go now? Because he looks like he's got a good drive out here. Out of Spoon. This is going to be risky to try it here. Maybe an outbreak into the chicane. No, we just thought better of that. Hold on for the DRS. Oh, that's a much better drive. He's basically pushing Cole down the track at that point. So much faster out of the chicane. That's gonna be move done. There it is. So, look, Bink's going into the pits. I'm not sure what for. I'm not sure if he thinks he's actually got to take this pit stop or not. No, he's actually taken a front wing, so he must have taken damage. So, that's where it's a Monkey Nuts has tried to pass Elite Hound, but Elite Hound's not having any of it. As they go pretty much side by side through the two right-handers. And, yeah, Hound's held on to that position as well. Already Culp is pulled out just over a second on Carl as well. He's wanting to get right outside of that. DRS window. So in the comments, the guys are just having a bit of a conversation about the F1. So we'll let them get on with that. So who's close to each other? So I just about missed Luckman trying to put a move on Nerf Pack there. Is Nerf Pack going to try and come back again? This is right now the closest battle on track. And that will give Nerf Pack DRS. If he can get a good run out of here, he could have a run at Luckman into turn 1. Just a few laps to go. This sprint race has gone very, very quickly. Monkey though, 11 places. Matey Boy up 7. Stephen's gone up 6. Some good movers here. Nerf Pack having a little bit of a wobble there on the curb. He definitely doesn't like these S's very much. You can tell from the way he's trying to take them gingerly. But then again, saying that, I don't think anyone likes the S's around Japan, so Scotty is within a second now on El Jobo. So if he gets a good run out of here as well, he could be thinking about DRS into turn 1 again. As Steve picks up a 3-second time penalty, and Binks is retired. Now, let's see if that's actually on track. I think it might be. He has it, he's binned it just to the right hand side there as Jimster came past. So we have a yellow flag sector 1, which has now disappeared, so we are still racing. There's no VSC or anything. As Clay drops into the comments saying, I wish my wife would actually support me. Yeah, that's that can't be much fun for you, Clay, when your wife's out there supporting another driver. So Scotty's right on the back of El Jobo here as well. Trying to get past, but you've just got to find the right time around it. There's such few overtaking opportunities unless the driver ahead makes a mistake under pressure, which I don't often see El Jobo make many mistakes under pressure, so I doubt that's going to happen. So let's have a quick look at penalties. So that's Luckman, Harry and Elite Hound all have 3 seconds apiece, so there's not going to be much in the way of penalties making a difference here. But I think a couple of people might move. I think Monkeys will be up an extra position when Hound takes his 3 seconds. Harry and Luckman, Nerf Pack is just outside 3 seconds on Luckman, so those two should stay exactly where they are. Got to get a good run out of there, Scott, and you can have a move, as I actually just in the back there missed Hound putting a move on Monkey as well. I think those two were just going at him. So maybe Monkey put a move and Hound moved back, because I'm sure Hound was in that position before. Got me a little bit confused. As that is Scott going off track, so that's lost in the ground that he'd made up on El Jobo. With those dirty tyres, he's going to start dropping time now to Monkey as well, who's only a little bit behind him on the next part of the S, so you can just see the dirt trails that Scott's car's leaving behind him. But Monkey has also passed Hound as well. He will lose a place to Matey Boy as well with his 3 second penalty. unless he can get back past Monkey. There's not a lot really happening besides this battle on track at the minute. Aiden's coming close to Nerfpack, and in fact there he goes, he passes him. I did not expect that. There was about 8 tenths here just a second ago, and he's now about 1.3 ahead. That is a lot of distance being made up off Nerfpack there. Some sort of mistake going on. I mean, Saki we expected to be way back there. He'll be DSQ'd because he hasn't been here the whole race. Which means Dimster will move to P13. Not entirely sure what happened there, but Nerfpack must have made some sort of mistake. So Hound has passed Monkey again, but Monkey has DRS and he's going to go into turn 1 with him. And that looks like move done again, so these two are really going at it. There's quite the conversation now going on between Osso and Paranoid. That'll calm down when Osso's racing again. They're just being nice and paying each other compliments. So do we have anyone else on track currently close? No, this is the only battle. Literally, Monkey's just over a second off the back of Scott, and then Hound is about 3 tenths off of Monkey, so I'm just beginning to wonder if Scott was carrying damage. He just seems to be losing time. No, he doesn't appear to be carrying any damage. Oh, that's a wicked view of Steve, would you say? Oh, and I completely apologise, I hadn't noticed we'd actually got to the last lap. I was so interested in that Monkey and Hound battle that they were having. So that's Culpy P1, which is exactly where he needed to be. But unfortunately for him, Dan has scored points, so Culpy has no chance now of winning the F2 title. So this is down to Dan and JJ, and Dan has a huge advantage now. Monkey up 12 places though, that is quite an impressive drive there from Monkey. Matey Boy made 8 places as well. Luckman up 6. Aiden not having any luck whatsoever down in P11, he dropped 8 places. And Nerfpack across the line, and somewhere back there we will have Dimpster crossing the line, unless, no, he's retired from session. You know, also, and Paranoid, that is the most pointless place to have the conversation about whether wheel or pad is faster. If you're going to have that conversation, you really should go and have it in the Discord. Because you may actually get some more input from other people who both use pad or wheel. No need to apologise also, I was just saying you may get more input from the other drivers that can actually give you some idea of whether it's worth you having a wheel or not. So Culpy then with the fastest lap with a 42.057 and takes P1, Cole P2, Dan P3, Ojobo P4, Scotty P5, Monkey P6, Matey P7, Hound P8, Harry P9 and Luckman P10. So the guys will go back to the positions that they qualified in for the feature race, and this will be just a few laps longer, so maybe I won't realise we're at the end of the race as soon as we were on the last one. I realised after the leader had crossed the line. Great work from me. I was too interested in that battle between Monkey and Hound. It was a good little battle. It was about the only battle happening as well, so. And we just got a few seconds to go. Oh, yawning. It's not good. So we've got the guys getting themselves ready for the formation lap. So let's see. Everybody on the softs, no surprise, they will start on the same tyre. Don't think you can start on a different tyre. I don't think you get a choice. Or not much of one anyway. In the F2s. But we've got Harry starting from the front. No problem, Paranoid. Enjoy the rest of your night. So yeah, we've got Harry from the front. We've got Cole P2, El Jobo P3, Binks P4, Dan starting P5, Scotty P6, JJ P7, Aiden P8, Carl P9, Saki will stop P10, but he's still ghost, so he's still disconnected then. Yes, he is. Dimster starts P11. Hound will start P12, Nerfpack 13th, also 14th, Matey Boy 15th, Lookman 16th, Hamster 17th, and Monkey will start at the back in P18. Oh god, that's an awful view. I hate when the game does that. So just waiting for the guys to get round and finish off their formation laps. This isn't the longest lap, but it's also not the shortest either. So the guys are just starting to grid back up now, so let's see where our rear person is, who's miles away from everybody else. Everyone else is just coming out the chicane. He's just about entering it. As also a Matey Boy both get disqualified. Teammates getting disqualified. That was silly. So, I can't actually see the lights at all. 3, 4, 5 lights out, and we're away. Looks like everyone's got a fairly good start. Harry does manage to take a bit of a lead there. I don't see anyone drastically going the wrong way, so I don't think we've got any problems further back. A few people up and down a few places, but good start from Harry and Culpy there. As we've lost Carl and Osso there, both together as well on the exit of the S's. Osso saying he wanted to claim at least P17. It's not got off to a good start there, Osso. So Carl has lost an end plate, and I can't really tell what's going on with Osso's car. It doesn't look like he's got any damage, but Last time around I thought that he had no end plates, so what do I know? No, that looks like Osso's all intact. So, let's see what's happening a bit further up the field then. Everyone's really quite close. Dan's getting very close to the back of Scott there. Then a tenth and a half. Ooh, he backs out on it there. I thought maybe he'd carry that and try and break into the chicane and try and just steal that spot, but he's playing it safe. He just needs the points. And what was said in the F2 chat is right. He needs 8 points if JJ wins. That's all Dan needs to secure the championship. It's not looking like JJ will be, because he's currently in P7 behind Dan. But anything can happen around here. Seen it. Oh, as Scott goes completely sideways, and his car doesn't ghost either. It has now ghosted though, but he's off the track. That could have been really messy. That is Scott all the way down in P16 now. Cole is in the pits. So let's just see what tyres he's going to throw on. And he's gone straight into the medium, so he may have to make another stop. It depends how the wear around here. So also has managed to get back into that P17 he talked about. As that's now Luckman going the wrong way. Yeah, he's lost it at the hairpin. So that's another driver not having much luck. I really hate that view. I wish it just didn't exist. And the answer to what I was trying to find out is yes, Luckman does have damage, and that was probably a track limit warning as well. So back up to the top. So JJ has gotten past Dan then. So that is JJ now into P5, but he's got 2.5 seconds to find on El Jobo, as DRS is now enabled. I seem to just be looking at JJ's face, although he does still have a rather blue and yellow helmet. So there's a couple of little battles. So Kulpi's still trying to do everything he can to secure as many points as he can. After JJ's poor finish in the sprint though, he may be able to steal P2 in the championship here. Maybe. So he's going to try and do everything he can to do that. There's some close driving on. So what's going on between Matey Boy and Scott here? They're getting quite close together. I think he thought about a move there around the outside of the hairpin and thought better of it. Maybe he just outbraked himself slightly. He definitely went a little bit wide into that hairpin. No, Clay, you're absolutely right. They do not want to be going side by side through all 130 in these. Not in the slightest. I was a little bit late on picking up that comment, but I do know exactly what you were talking about there. And I do believe that Hamster's just put a move on Hound as well. It looks like coming through the chicane. And Kulpi's also just made a move on Harry as well for the lead. Get distracted by one overtaking, another one happens. Can't keep up. Harry looks like he's struggling to get the power down properly, which is a lot of brake going through. Just seems to be struggling for a little bit of grip there. Whoa, that was a track limit warning. That was a big corner cut from Harry. I did exactly the same thing in the F1 cars yesterday, so I know that was a corner cut. Alright, what is happening with Matey Boy? He's just lost a couple of places there. he's off track. That explains it. And if he wants to be nice, he'll let also through. There he goes, letting his teammate through as well. So let's see who's close on track. And I was about to say, I pressed the wrong button there, but I was about to say Monkey is very close on Nerf Pack here, and he's trying to go round the outside. As also has retired, much to the displeasure of his fans. If I press the right button, I may actually find what I'm looking for. And these guys are quite far behind, but he has lost it at the hairpin, judging by where he is on the track map. See if we can see. It looks like he's outbraked himself into the hairpin. Undoubtedly, also being also, he will jump into the comments and let me know what he just did. Yeah, his car would have been somewhere over there in the gravel. Yes, also, well, judging by position of the car, my guess is you outbraked yourself a little bit. So both Dan and JJ Lato then in the pits. Which way round are they going to exit the pits? Looks like JJ is out just ahead of Dan. Quite an early pit stop from the both of those then. One sick bean hound, only 3 to 4 pieces of grass. You in the grass also. Stay off the grass. This is what happens. You said P17, you were P18 in the feature race. That's not an improvement. Right, so Scotty on the back of Nerf Pack now. Oh, he's gone a little bit wider than he would have wanted. He wanted to get a lot closer to the apex there, and he would have got such a good run. Something I just noticed, Binks is very close to El Jobo. Oh, as there's contact, he shoves El Jobo off track there. Take the position, that might be in the reports later. As we do have both Corpy and Harry in the pits. So they're going for their tyre change onto the mediums. You know, also, I think he just keeps you around for your fans. So there's a lot of positional movement now, as a lot of people are pitting. Corpy is obviously overtaking Saki's car, which is still ghosted because he was disconnected before the race even started. As El Jobo is quite close to the back of Binks still here. See, we understand each other. This is how I knew. Oh, El Jobo looking for a move here. It's not exactly where I'd be thinking about a move. Maybe if you can get the power down out of the exit though. It's just going to depend on his drive out the exit too. There's no ERS in these, so it's purely on your driving the slipstream. This is not a place you boys want to go side by side. That's much better. One goes wide and one backs out. That'll work. Yeah, absolutely, Clay. There will be. And to answer what you was just saying there, Binks is just pitted, and El Jobo is staying out for another lap. So maybe they're going to stagger those pit stops. But what's good is we've only lost one driver so far, considering what a hideous place of a track this is. How little fun we have here, as Matey Boy is now retired as well, and that, I believe, I was just about to try and find out where it was. It is just after the exit of the hairpin. So that is both of the call-in drivers out there. So let's see what else is happening on track besides people pitting. When it sorts itself out. So JJ is close to the back of Harry. Dan's close to the back of Binks here, as Dan has been on his tyres for an extra lap or two, so he'll be nice and well scrubbed in and ready to attack by now. As would JJ, because they pitted at the same time, so both of these could be looking at moves fairly quickly. What is happening with Scott there? He almost must have been inside of Monkey there. There was less than a tenth and a half between the pair of them. You're always watching those times, especially Dan for JJ, trying to pay attention to their times, because these two can make a move at any time. More likely Danny's just a little bit closer to Binks than what JJ is to Harry. In fact, JJ's just up outside the 1 second window, which he won't have wanted, as El Jobo and Aiden now both pit, and Aiden picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Also, stop correcting me, you both crashed, accept it. Carry on, I'll be calling you two the Smash Brothers. As Kulpi does set the fastest lap with a 1:42 at 2:18. And everybody's just getting muddled around with these people pitting again. Trying to figure out where people are and what the gaps are. See if anyone's close enough for a battle, as Monkey and Scotty have sort of places, so Scott has managed to make a move somewhere there. It might have been under DRS, but I completely missed it due to the fact that somebody in the pits was dropping down the order, which has now put Scott right on the back of Hound as well. And there's fair distance between themselves and El Jobo, which means that Hound won't be getting any DRS. So he is entirely at the mercy of Scott next time they come round, if Scott gets a good drive out of the chicane. So as it stands then, Dan is going to be the champion of the F2 season, the first F2 season. Unless he makes some kind of really silly mistake, like Scott's just made right in front of us. All that hard work undone by sliding. That's El Jobo very close to the back of Hamster there, so this could be a move going down into turn 1. Vince picks up the fastest lap with a 42.109. The Hound picks up a 3-second time penalty. Seems to like those. He's picked a couple of those today. Oh, El Jobo thought the better of that. He would have had to brake too late there. Clay, can't wait to hear Dan bragging again. Well, you know what Dan's like, he does love a good brag, and he hasn't had a chance to do it in the F1s this season, so he's got to find some way to brag, hasn't he? JJ's getting close to the back of Harry there. He's going to try and make this as hard as possible for Dan. Still got to find about 3 seconds on Kulpi and pass him and Harry if he wants to win and make things as hard as possible for Dan. Dan said he only needed 8 points, and that would be P8. So currently Dan is 3 positions inside where he would need to be, even if JJ was to win this race. Yeah, absolutely, Clay. Yeah, I mean, stepping up into tier 1, he has you know, he's done well. And yeah, everybody in the Ferrari team's carried you to a second constructors title. Well done on that one, as Kulpi does set a fastest lap with a 42.046 now, so they are getting very, very slightly faster every lap. I can't say anything bad about Dan. I mean, he gave me the Dan talk, and oh, that's Harry sideways, and JJ just crashed right into him. His car didn't ghost. That was unfortunate, as JJ picked up any damage from that, because there was a bit of debris. It doesn't look like it's actually come off his car. He does appear to have his end plates in place. No, I think he's okay. That was unlucky for Harry and unlucky for JJ there as well. Yeah, I mean, ever since the Dan talk, I've not lost any more of my super license points, so he's obviously done something right there. As Luckman has now retired as well, and that appears to be either out of the last turn or in the pit lane. The car doesn't seem to be moving though. Oh, it's disappeared now, so it won't be an issue. Yes, you're a team, Clay. Even if you didn't score any of the points. So, whoa, that was a big corner cut from JJ there. Naughty, naughty. Hold on, Clay, if there's a tier 4, I want to come and join that. I'm slow enough. No, you're right there, Mark. JJ has had no luck with the races. He had a disaster in the sprint race, and although he's doing very well in this race, there was just a bit of bad luck there involving himself and Harry. But he did luckily get away with no damage, so there's that to it. Let's see where Cole's at. He's down in P12, but he is chasing the back of Scott there. Development tier. Yeah, you need more than development, you also, some days. As I do jump off of Cole just as he actually managed just to pass Scott. And there's a 4-second gap. What has Scott done there? He must have made a mistake again, because now Nerf Pack's right on the back of him. He's not having any luck today, Scott. So let's jump back on with JJ, because that is one of the closest battles on track, although Hamster is also getting close to the back of Aiden as well, just slightly closer than the other guys, as Monkey picks up 3 seconds, and Kulpi goes faster with a 41.6 now, and Aiden picks up 3 seconds. Of course Aiden picks up 3 seconds. It's Aiden. So let's sit on this and Hamster can make the move. Oh, that was close. Oh, as Hamster loses the tail slightly there. That was a bit of a drift he got going on. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging there. They both seem to be struggling to get these cars around these S's. It's not a fun part of the track. Not in the slightest. So let's go see what's happening with JJ now. He's still right on the back of Binks. So Clay's has for a quick penalty check. Hound should make 1 place. He's not going to make 2 because the gap is around about 10 seconds to Aiden, who's only got an 8-second penalty. So he will make a place upon Monkey, but he won't make a place upon Hamster, who is around about 10 seconds ahead of those two as well. as we speak about Hamster, he has made a move on Aiden as well. But Aiden will have now DRS into turn 1. Yeah, no problem, Clay. So let's see what Aiden can do here. Can he get past? No, because he's got an awful drive out of that last turn, and Hamster's just gone. So let's see what JJ's doing then. He's still trying to get past Binks. Dan's just still tagging on the back of there, a couple of seconds off the back of him, and people just collecting his points. He knows he just needs to stay calm, collected, and the title's his. No need to push. Just think about staying on track. As that's El Jobo off, and he does not look like he's having much luck there. 10 seconds penalty for exceeding track limits. That must have been a big cut he did there. See if we can see if he's got any damage. He has. He's lost a whole chunk of his wing with 2 laps to go, so that is unfortunate for El Jobo. But JJ is getting closer to the back of Binks here as well. Yeah, Clay, you're right. Hound has done well towards the end of the F2 season, and better than his F1. But then saying that, he does better in Tier 2 than he does in Tier 3, so honestly, no idea. He says it himself that he seems to do better in Tier 2. I think he wants moving up. That's what it is. Now let's just sit on with this as JJ is going for that move now. It should be move done, although Binks is trying to hang it around the outside and picks up a 3-second time penalty for hanging it too far around the outside. With that 3-second penalty, he really probably should have backed out of that. It's a bit risky. Yeah, exactly what I'm on about, Clay. Taking your car for the weekend and putting it on the podium for you. As speaking of the devil, he's just picked up another 3-second penalty, so that will affect where he finishes. But Aiden has dropped down as well. So as long as he stays within 2 seconds of Aiden, he'll jump Aiden. And he'll jump Monkey, because Monkey's got 9 seconds and only about 3 seconds ahead of him. In fact, if I look at it that way, it will be easier to see. So yeah, there's about... Ooh, hang on, it's a bit more than I thought. I misread that. 29, 36, yeah, so maybe you won't jump Monkey here, because he's got 6 seconds, so he needs to be within 3. So he will still make up at least 1 place though. Apart from Coolpy, who's made up 1 place, and Lookman, who's finished in exactly the same place for a DNF, and Nerfpack actually, who's just swapped places there with Scotty. I was about to say the only person in the same place as they started the race was Aiden, but now Nerfpack's joined him. So we've just had a comment saying, should the drivers finish where they are now, that being JJ, Dan and Coolpy, the results for the season would be Dan 303 points, JJ 288 and Coolpy 286, but this does exclude the fastest lap point. So Dan would be champion as it stands. Gaps forming everywhere now. Oh, Jobo's still trying to stick to Aiden. I'm sure he had damage. He does have damage and he's still going for it anyway. And I did also see what you were saying, Mark, as well. Now I was surprised to see that Binks didn't back out of that one, given that he just picked up a 3-second penalty. Who's that? Looks like that. That's Aiden. No wonder Aiden's struggling so much. Aiden and El Jobo were going at it with no wing and half a wing. But we are on the last lap, so let's just jump back as Kulpi crosses the line. That was a really good time. As Harry's just DNF. Let's see if I can pick that one up, see where Harry binned it. See if we can see it. There he is on the left side. So it looks like he's carried too much speed and ended up putting it in the wall on the last lap. So that is unfortunate for him. So Dan's picked up P3, JJ's picked up P2. Binks with that penalty has dropped down to P4. And Hamster P5, so that's a good result from Hamster and Monkey, who's also up 12 places. Hound's up 5 into P7. As Aiden picks up 5 seconds for an unserved penalty. So Scotty P8, Aiden P9, Nerfpack P10, El Jobo P11. Dimpster will get P12. Saki won't get anything, he will be DSQ'd anyway. And Harry has DNF. So that is the end of the F2 season, and given the points, that is Dan as champion. So I'm sure he'll be happy about that, maybe boasting a little. Letting the guys enjoy their moment with their champagne. So, results then for the feature race. Kulpi finished first with the fastest lap of 1:41.635. JJ, Dan, and then Binks, Hamster, Monkey, Hound, Scotty, Aiden, Nerfpack, El Jobo, Dimpster. Saki, as I said, hasn't been there the entire time, so he will get DSQ'd anyway, and everybody else DNF'd. And for the weekend, it's Kulpi with the most points, followed by Dan and JJ for the top 3. So that, as I said, is our season over for the F2. I'm not sure if there'll be streams for the pre-season next week, but if not, we shall be back the week after that. I will be able to give you the dates if I look. Just 1 second. So the F2 division opening race is on the 11th of April. So if we haven't got any pre-season races, which I don't think we do for the F2s, I think it's there's a couple of pre-seasons for the F1s in Spain and Monza on the 1st and the 3rd of April, and then the F2s themselves will be back on the 11th of April. So until then, as I said, Dan's your champion, and that's just wrapped up for the season.